That's the same confirmation, Rubio 3.
Oh, got it.
Now, when it comes to Europe, Rubio said in terms of Russia and Ukraine, quote, there will have to be concessions made, adding this conflict needs to end. What changes might we see in terms of the Russia-Ukraine war under this new administration?
It's going to be very hard to say. Donald Trump, as I've said many times, is very, very transactional. Where we are right now, basically when Donald Trump takes office on January 20th, everything that happened beforehand is a sunk cost. There's nothing that he can do about it to change. Considering the amount of territory that Ukraine has lost to Russia, I don't know how Ukraine is going to be able to take it all back. It's going to be an exceptional challenge. Now, at the same time, Russia is also at its limit in terms of its wartime economy. I don't know how much longer they can continue on with the war. Ukraine is also suffering an incredible strain as well. I think in the end, whether or not we like it, Russia may end up with a part of Ukraine. They may get a lot of what they want, but hopefully Trump and the Western powers can perhaps exert more threats or perhaps say, hey, if you don't take, say, perhaps half a loaf, if you will, use that kind of an example, say, they only get to some of the all of it, that the allies, the Western powers are going to come in even stronger to support Ukraine. And there's a lot of things that went wrong all the way up to this. This war should never have happened in the first place. Military aid, Congress was very slow to act on times, engaging in politics, a 6-month delay in terms of getting Ukraine the artillery it needs. We didn't ramp up in terms of manufacturing the artillery it needs. So a lot of that also lies on us in terms of where the situation is. So we are, I think, just as much to blame for preventing this war as Russia is from starting.
Who was that guy?
There's some Navy guy.
Blah, blah, blah.
So before we jump ahead, he did mention Trump doing stuff right away. Have you heard the tiny desk story?
I don't know.
Here, play the clip. You'll get a kick out of it. Trump and the tiny desk.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's like a tiny desk story. Here we go.
On the campaign trail, Trump joked he'd have a tiny desk next to the inauguration podium so he could start signing executive orders immediately after his speech. Well, there hasn't been an official announcement. The to sign hours and days next. It may be the executive American history.
I've heard it's 100.
Yeah, 100. That's what the number is.
Away and start signing. I heard he was going to start signing from the steps on the way in the limo back to the White House. They was going to start signing them in the car with his tiny desk. That's good. We do have breaking news at this hour, John. Breaking news at this hour. Breaking!
Well, good morning. Earlier today, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said Hamas objected to Israel's ability to stop the release of certain prisoners. However, the deal isn't a sure thing, with Israel this morning saying it wouldn't ratify the deal until Hamas stops backtracking on already agreed upon details. But this is the closest the two sides have come in months, and there is hope it will come to fruition. Hamas is still holding nearly 100 people hostage, including some Americans.
The news is welcome across America as we are finally getting Americans returned, just as there's excitement in Israel to get some of their hostages home.
Of course, everyone was all giddy about the question that was asked of President Biden if he's taking credit for something Trump did.
Yeah, that's a classic.
Yeah, I thought CBC did a pretty good job.
Thank you. First credit for this, Mr. President, you or Trump?
The ink on the deal was still drying, and outgoing President Joe Biden was facing questions about who should get the credit.
Is that a joke?
That's not a joke.
No joke. After all, incoming President Donald Trump posted on social media moments after the news broke, claiming credit and not even mentioning his predecessor. This epic ceasefire agreement could have only happened as a result of our historic victory in November, he wrote. Qatar's Prime Minister Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdul Rahman Al Thani was asked about the U.S. role in shaping the final agreement.
I can say that what we have seen from the U.S. in the past few days, seeing a collaboration transcending both administration was a clear demonstration for the commitment of the U.S. to reach to that deal.
Biden says getting the deal done was one thing. Seeing it through will require yet more work.
This deal was developed and negotiated under my administration, but its terms will be implemented, for the most part, by the next administration. In these past few days, we've been speaking as one team.
The deal's 3 phases will each offer tricky obstacles and stumbling blocks. And United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres says the ceasefire deal is only the first step.
And I call on all parties to facilitate the rapid and hindered and safe humanitarian relief for all civilians in need.
So that's our reporting. That's reporting from our 51st state, Canada. The French were a little more gracious.
Scenes of jubilation and relief in Gaza as news spreads of a ceasefire agreement following months of fruitless talks. One key upcoming change has forced negotiations to pick up pace in recent weeks: the return of Donald Trump. The U.S. president had been regularly demanding the release of all hostages in Gaza and sent his new envoy Steve Witkoff to the region to put pressure on the truce talks mediators.
If those hostages aren't back, I don't want to hurt your negotiation. If they're not back by the time I get into office, all hell will break out in the Middle East.
Experts say their efforts have paid off.
The deal will go into implementation the day before President Trump's inauguration. So undoubtedly there is this Trump effect. Many people I talk to in Israel would say that the most popular politician in Israel is Donald Trump. And that gives him quite a bit of leverage over the Israeli Prime Minister.
The Israeli Prime Minister was also pressed to come to the negotiating table as the political situation within his government deteriorates. 2 of Netanyahu's key coalition partners have opposed the truce. Far-right Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich and National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir threatened to pull their parties out of the coalition unless fighting in Gaza resumed after the hostages return. Though Netanyahu's government has a majority to approve the ceasefire deal, the Prime Minister seeks to keep his government afloat. Israeli media report he has offered potential gains for the far right in exchange for them remaining in his coalition, including a settlement construction in the West Bank and boosted security.
Very odd. I thought everyone knows the Jews control Trump. It's so odd that
Yeah, it's so odd. I have 2 clips on the same thing. Mine are one's from
NTD.
Well, the NTD is the best one, but let's start with the ceasefire, the NPR, because you play some elaborate clips from foreign sources. What does an NPR do?
Let me guess. Somebody with a British accent?
No, not necessarily.
After more than 15 months of war, the United States says Israel and Hamas have reached a ceasefire deal. NPR's Aya Betrawi reports the agreement is set to begin on Sunday, giving the Israeli government time to approve the deal.
This is a complex and fragile deal, carried out in stages, starting with a 6-week pause in hostilities and Israeli airstrikes on Gaza, which health officials there say have killed tens of thousands of people, including more than 14,000 children in the war. 33 hostages, or around a third of those held by Hamas in Gaza, will be released in exchange for many Palestinians held by Israel in this first phase. Qatar's Prime Minister Sheikh Mohammed Al Thani told reporters the deal aims to end the war.
I believe that it all depends on the parties of the agreement and acting in good faith.
He says the agreement also allows for displaced Palestinians to return to Gaza City and other areas in the north, though most of Gaza has been turned to rubble.
Who was that?
Rubble. You get the return to rubble. So that was, that's about as vanilla as you can get.
Pretty much.
Told us nothing interesting whatsoever. But there we have the NTD for our NTD folks, the new Tang Dynasty, have this report.
A ceasefire between Israel and Hamas has been announced. President-elect Trump first broke the news in a post on Truth Social, saying the ceasefire agreement had been reached and that the hostages would be released shortly. NTD's Jason Perry has the details.
Residents in the Gaza Strip were seen celebrating on Wednesday, many of them anticipating that a ceasefire would happen soon. And it did, according to what President-elect Trump posted on Truth Social. Trump said that a deal in the Middle East had been reached and that the hostages would be released shortly. Trump's announcement of the ceasefire word came just a week after. He said, quote, all hell will break out in the Middle East if the hostages aren't released by the time he takes office. Qatar, which has been mediating the talks, also announced the news on Wednesday. Qatar's prime minister, who is also the country's foreign minister, said the ceasefire is set to begin on Sunday, January 19th, one day before Trump takes office. He gave further details at the briefing, which were heard through an interpreter.
The phase one of the agreement will go on for 42 days, and it will include a ceasefire and the withdrawal of Israeli forces to the east, away from populated areas. Israeli forces will then be positioned along the Gaza border, and which will allow for the swap of prisoners, as well as the swap of remains and the return of the displaced people to their residences.
He said that 33 hostages would be released. But he did not say how many Palestinian prisoners would be released. President Biden, however, said hundreds of Palestinian prisoners were going to be released, and he added this.
The elements of this deal are what I laid out in detail this past May, which was embraced by countries around the world and endorsed overwhelmingly by the UN Security Council.
Yeah, all right. I think I've had it now. I think I've had it. Let's move on to something more exciting. Something more exciting, which is also taking place on Monday, because we know. Why? Because we know nobody cares about 33 hostages. We care about TikTok. That's what we all care about, TikTok. And I have a clip, and I think you have a couple too.
This morning, President-elect Donald Trump may be planning to keep TikTok alive in the U.S.
Keep it alive!
Pick for National Security Advisor, Florida Representative Mike Waltz, says Trump is exploring options to preserve the popular app, which is set to shut down in the U.S. come Monday. Waltz added that Trump sees TikTok's economic value and could implement an executive order to suspend enforcement of a federal law that would ban the app. The Supreme Court appears poised to uphold the law, which requires TikTok's Chinese parent company, ByteDance, to divest on national security grounds or the app to be banned. But this news overnight adds to all the speculation. Shu Chu, the CEO of TikTok, plans to be at Trump's inauguration at the invitation of the Trump-Vance Inaugural Committee, and is expected to sit in a position of honor on the dais along with a number of other tech billionaires.
What is so interesting is friends of mine, good friends who should know the truth. They all believe, they really believe that TikTok is spying on them more than any other app. I'm flummoxed by this. And another thing I'd like to point out, everyone like, oh, the TikTok algorithm, the algorithm.
The algo is what makes you think they're spying on you.
Oh, that's a good point. Whereas the algo, it is the simplest algo in the world. We've already been through this.
There must be something more to it, and I think I think that it's not the algo as much as it is the ability to categorize the videos in such a way that the algo can do what it does.
Yes, and
I think that's the level of difficulty that's not being discussed.
Well, I don't think it's difficult at all.
Because they don't use a lot of hashtags in TikTok. It's just you have somebody going on ranting about something or other that, oh yeah, Kamala's going to be president, and then you start watching that and they get another one and another one and another one. How do they manage to categorize these videos to make them show up one after the other? That is the key to their success that is not being discussed.
There's a lot of Chinese. And they're sitting there all day long making videos. Yeah, I'm sure.
Or Indians. I mean,
well, we could shift it to anonymous Indians.
Oh, this is the same as this one. Let's put them in the same pot.
But it truly is the success. I'll just reiterate. American algorithms, particularly in our social media realms, they always want to inject strife. Like, yeah, let's throw something that get people commenting and get them mad at each other. The TikTok algo is like, you like food? Here's food. You like Republicans? Here's Republicans. They don't throw anything. You're getting emails from people. Yeah, the reason they want TikTok gone is because that's where all the MAGA people are. No, all the MAGA people got all the MAGA people in the algo. All the Delulus got all the Delulus in. They categorize or take the content, and I wouldn't put it past them that there's a lot of people whose only job it is to take videos.
To be it.
Yeah.
There can't. There's no machine way of doing this. And it's not a hashtag-oriented system, so you can't just look at the hashtag. Oh, here's another one.
Now
you might be right. It could be thousands of people that are oh God, what a job that would be. Oh my God, you have to watch one after another and then figure out where it fits into the scheme of things.
It's a lot more fun than trying to police people. Just what is this about? Oh, boom, click, Republican. What is this about? Oh, food, boom. What is this about? Watermelons, boom, watermelons. It's easy, as long as you have enough people. Now, I have 2 boots on the ground reports. The first one will lead into your clips. This is from Gen Z.
Well, before you get to that, I do want to mention one thing, which is I do get PR notice for called bet.e, and they have the odds about some of these things I want to mention. Will SCOTUS ban TikTok and it will be upheld?
Yes.
69% yes.
Yes.
Will Elon Musk buy TikTok?
No.
82% no.
Right.
Will Trump overturn TikTok the first 100 days of the presidency?
Yes.
58% no.
Oh, interesting. No.
So the betting folk, although the Trump one is the weakest, the betting folks say no to that.
So Gen Z TikTok producer writes, says boots on the ground regarding the TikTok ban. If you recall, I gave you and John insight last year on how TikTok ads and ad leaderboard systems have some obscure incentives for massive pay pools to creators. By the way, I've determined that they are not creators, they are creations. People who chase algos on YouTube and TikTok are creations of YouTube and TikTok. They're not creators. They just, we can talk about it later, but Mr. Beast really laid out what he does with his videos. He's like, as long as there's more, if there's 3 seconds more watching time, average viewing time, it's a great video. These are creations of these platforms. Anyway, he manages several thousand influencers, our producer does, on TikTok, and everyone is on the edge of their seat because, well, lots of money is on the table. And here we go, recently noticing with our influencers, so this is one of our Gen Zers he's in deep inside the mad dash for the next big thing if the ban holds. New apps and narratives definitely underway to try to absorb the power vacuum if TikTok is shut down. I say if, because the amount of money that flows through ad revenue here will likely keep it going. If not, this model will be immediately duplicated in a new app. And of course, the new one is Red Note, which is at the top of the app stores. He says this is obvious that these the rankings, the ratings have been gamed. Bots are all over it. They've been pushing Red Note up to the top. Everybody who's on TikTok has an account now on Red Note, just in case that's the next big thing. And this should lead into your Red Note clips.
Yeah, I have the backgrounders on Red Note. Here's clip 1.
TikTok users are flooding Chinese social media app Red Note just days before a potential ban could remove.
She even said it the way I did. Red Note. This is interesting. You could just say Red Note. No, Red Note.
TikTok users are flooding Chinese social media app Red Note just days before a potential ban could remove TikTok from U.S. users' lives. Some of them have come up with a creative way to describe the trend, calling themselves TikTok refugees.
Red Note saw its U.S. downloads skyrocket nearly 200% more than last week. This according to database Sensor Tower. The Chinese app also topped the ranks of free downloads on both Apple and Google's app stores in the U.S. Another app called Lemon 8 trails behind Red Note in second place. The app works almost the same as Red Note, but is predominantly English versus Red Note's default Chinese. Lemonade also shares the same Chinese parent company, ByteDance, that's the same company as TikTok. Built with features similar to both Instagram and Pinterest, users can post photos and short videos on Red Note. It can also have chat functions and its own online shopping site. As the app's non-Chinese base grows, Chinese users are telling American newcomers about what could be considered wrong under the Chinese Communist Party's censorship rules. For example, stay away from sensitive topics the regime considers sensitive, like Taiwan, the Uyghur ethnic group, and the 1989 Tiananmen Square massacre.
No, I don't see any of that on TikTok. Hello, obvious. I haven't note about the store, but I'll play your second red note backgrounder first.
Red Note has already faced criticism from users for strict censorship rules. The platform reportedly banned over 1.25 million accounts a few weeks ago. Right now, its ties with the Chinese Communist Party are facing scrutiny as more Americans flock to the app. Red Note is owned by a Shanghai-based company, and all of its data is stored in mainland China. The app is reportedly backed by Chinese tech giant Tencent. The Pentagon recently blacklisted Tencent for its alleged ties to the Chinese military. And get this, what's more is that the app's Chinese name, Xiaohongshu, means the little...
Little what?
Like I got a little red book, as in the Mao little red book.
All right, so boots on the ground from Danny about the store. This is the real problem. This, I believe, is the real problem. Besides the massive ad incentives, you know, all these other companies, YouTube and Meta, they either bought the ad systems. It's deeply entrenched. They got a lot of technical debt. They don't have this leaderboard system, which is a phenomenal idea. But the store. So Danny says, I'm sure you know TikTok has enabled shopping. I think you sort of acknowledged on episode 729. It's probably the only legitimate competition Amazon may have. I'm very surprised, he says. I'm shocked that John hasn't discovered the incredible deals on TikTok Shop. From $12 Baofeng radios, which is at least $3 under the price, to high-quality, unlabeled clothing, textiles, and home goods, usually straight from China. Also, many homegrown businesses are making millions of dollars by opening their businesses on TikTok Shop. I'm a bit disappointed, Danny says. Everyone seems to find the negativity in oddball TikTokers, but not the positive. Oh, fine. I joined TikTok Shop last year. It works by basically promoting all types of goods that are sent as free samples in exchange for making videos or going live showcasing the product. Recently, I've had a video featuring the Baofeng UV5R radio that has made me close to, how much do you think, in 2 weeks in commission?
20 grand?
No, 10,000.
Well,
I've been able to stop ruining my vehicle doing Amazon deliveries and Uber Eats deliveries. TikTok has enabled me to have more than $700 in my bank account at any given time. The same goes for so many other people on the platform. I do not have millions of followers. Of course not. It's the algo. The algo boosts you into people who are looking for this stuff. I started with less than 1,000, currently at 8,000. TikTok, so 8,000 followers and 10,000, so $5 grand a week. TikTok is by far the best social media platform on the internet. And I think that this is the real problem. I remain solid that this was an anti-competition, anti-competitive move by Silicon Valley, who funded some of the people who introduced the bill, mainly Google and Amazon, and they just want them out because there's too much technical debt to recreate this. And even this Lemonade, which is essentially tried to do the same thing, it's ByteDance, but they tried to do the same thing with a shop, and they failed. It's, you know, it's hard to do these things. It's hard to replicate existing success and get that magic going. And as you know, I think it would be very.
That's if you remember the early days of Twitter, there were 2 or 3 or 4 clones. Yep. Pounce was one of them. Yep. And there's a whole slew of them, and they didn't have it. Nope. You're right. There's a certain thing, and it's in tech. It's constant, which is this. It's a magic. It's something just clicks, and it becomes the thing,
and you can't replicate it. Now, I think there will be a big market for cheap phones, maybe even flip phones that have TikTok preloaded on it. I think we'll see this pop up if it gets banned. And I think it will. I really think it will. I think Trump will overturn it because Trump realizes, as I stated, and I'm sure someone over there listens to this show, we need more short-form videos, chicks in bikinis, we need guns, we need all kinds of stuff. We are the content media creators of the universe. This is our export. And the only thing is we need to hook up American products to the shop. That's it. That's all that needs to be done. I think it would be very bad for America to ban TikTok. It's bad for this show. Where are you going to source your content from?
I only source a certain type of content from TikTok, and I can do without it.
Well, audience, Kent. They're always encouraging.
Loves these clips.
They're encouraging you constantly to do this.
Yeah, I know. Much to your chagrin.
Yes. Now, do you think that anybody...
I think you're dead on this, by the way, this whole idea, and I have to look into the shop, and the guy was right in condemning me for not being up on it. Although I'm not like, the shopping guy on the Today show. You're sure, did they have some slippers you can buy here cheap? But okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure this stuff is mostly junk.
Yeah. It is. Of course it's junk. Well, that's another thing. We like buying junk. We should be buying American junk. Seriously. Oh, you know what? You remember Justin? The guy who has the Made in America shoe company? Who got wiped out by Helene in Western North Carolina? Yeah, he had like 25 people, his whole factory wiped out. So I find out he's started a new company because he's not going to give up. He started a boot company.
The guy's like that.
No. And I think he's Gen Z too. And
it's like Jambo, the guy who makes the.
Yes, yeah.
That guy, he goes from one business to another. I don't know what he's up to now, but he's like one of those guys.
Only in America do you find people like this.
These guys.
Only in America.
I don't know.
So he started the Pearl Boot Company. I'm like, I'm gonna support this guy. Cowboy boots. And they're $450, which is cheap for handmade, made in America cowboy boots, and they arrived yesterday.
Not quite. I'm still a little bit from the border. I'm in Kansas right now. Be in eastern Colorado shortly.
And I have Lucchese boots. I've had nice cowboy boots for over a decade, and I'm just blown away. I'm like, that's the kind of stuff we should be selling on TikTok. Now I bet he is. Now I think about it.
Well, he probably isn't.
Well, he should be.
Now you should think about it.
He should be. He should be. So, and this is another thing. On Instagram, the big brands, they all have their videos, and they've got their influencers. The influencers are suing each other. You stole my vibe.
What is going on with these people? You copied me. You copied my style.
But Tina continues to complain about this. She doesn't complain about it on Instagram anymore by commenting, because that got her kicked off. But all of these brands, like, oh yeah, and here's this special offer, and you click on it, you go to the special offer, not in stock. It's never in stock. It's a scam. Yeah, whenever Instagram has it's usually clothing, and it's these are known brands. Not super.
So what's the point of this? You think it's some sort of marketing deal?
Well, it sucks no matter what. I'm not sure if it's a marketing deal, but they're always out of stock, and then they recommend something else. It feels a bit like a bait and switch. It feels a bit like it, yeah. And the one time she commented, and she got booted off for a week. she commented on the advertiser. That was a mistake. That was a big
wow.
Mistake. Don't comment.
So she got booted off of Instagram for a week for saying something about this scamish advertising. Bait and switch scam?
And she didn't even say it was a scam. She just said, how come it's always out of stock? This is no good. Boom. You've been limited. You can't comment for a week. It was great.
They're really monitoring closely.
Oh, on the advertisers thought, yes, you can't meddle with the primal forces of nature, Mr.
This is the reason that our show doesn't take advertising. I just say it all the time. It's a form of corruption.
Big time. It really is. It really is. So anyway, we'll see what happens.
What they should have done was put the kibosh on the idea of them doing this, pulling this bait and switch scam. That's what they should be. They should be working on behalf of the users of Instagram.
Oh, please.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, they don't. They don't care. They just want to collect data. Yeah, now we got everyone thinking that TikTok was doing it. Now we're in the clear. Please, everyone uses Firebase. We all know how it works. You know about Firebase? It's
no, tell me about Firebase.
It's an SDK you put into your app, and it's I think Firebase may be completely controlled by Google. And every tap, every swipe, everything you do in the app is tracked. Every app has it. Firebase. Yeah. Oh, platforms properly. No, it's to spy. Now, TikTok is smart because it's very hard to do. You can't get to the shop, for instance, outside of the app. That's why you've never seen the shop. That's why you've never been introduced to it. If you go to shop.tiktok.com, you can browse, whatever they're showing you. But the minute you hit, I want to search for something, it says you got to get the app.
Oh, so I'll never see the shop.
No, not unless you get the app. You could get it on your phone. You just have to go downstairs to get it from the drawer.
I have to get the phone out of the drawer just for this? Forget it. I'm not doing it. It's like stupid. I can buy stuff from AliExpress, probably the same junk.
I don't think you're the market that they're going after. It's just,
well, I guess not. I was thinking about this the other day. I'm getting to the age, I'm probably past the age, but I'm going to say I'm getting to the age where I'll be defined as an old coot.
And there's nothing except Prevagen. We have nothing for old coots.
A coot? I mean, who needs to be a coot? But this is where it's going.
We got boner pills, we got to get something, but there's not much else that we want to sell.
No, you get to coot, you're a coot. Coot's a coot.
Coot's a coot. You get
it gives you a little more leeway in your free speech.
Yeah, it does.
That's for sure.
You're probably tagged somewhere. Coot, don't worry about it. It's not a problem. Let him talk. Let him say whatever he needs to say. Yes. Yeah, that's a good point. That would be in my algo. Did get a note from from Nick the truck driver, and he commented on Real Short. This is the Quibi thing you were talking about.
Oh yes, the thing that was Katzenberg's deal.
Yes, and he says he has used Real Short, and he has some insights. So this is good. We have the most impressive people. First, let me say I'm a truck driver. While I get loaded or unloaded, I usually just mindlessly scroll Facebook or Instagram. I got sucked into one of these so-called movies made by Real Short on Facebook. They'll give you 3 to 5 minutes on another platform, then tell you to download their app. Well, I downloaded it, and the woman on the clip was right. You get about 10 to 15 minutes, and they ask you for money. You get tokens to purchase movies starting at $4.99 for 100 tokens. I'm not sure how many tokens were needed to get the whole movie. Or you can watch an ad 5 times a day and get one more 1 to 2 minute segment per ad watched. For reference, the video I was watching had about 70 segments. The acting is truly awful, the plot is horrible, and yet I still wanted to finish it. I deleted the app after I saw its payment.
Well, he's one of those. Yeah, this is the general public at large. This is the old. When you learn about direct marketing, my all-time favorite thing, and I brought it up on the show before, is the idea.
Pay attention, people. This is good information you're getting here.
So you have, you're going to sell miniature cars, and the car's going to cost you about $5 to buy one. But the first one's $1 or $2, something like that. And so, just to introduce you to the idea of collecting these cars, there's 40 of them. And so you buy the $2 car, and they send you the little car, and a display case with the 40 car holes. And so you always get the free display, or we're going to give you a complimentary display case with these 40 holes that are empty, because you get to put your one car in there. And the general public...
Look at the empty slots.
The general public will want to fill up every slot.
Yeah.
Because it's like giving, it's like when you collect quarters and you get one of these coin collecting things that's got all those slots you put the quarters in. If you have one of these... Jay used to do this. She'd get one of the containers that hold the quarters, and there'd be 2 missing quarters, and she'd go out of her way to find the P quarter from 19 whatever it is, and to get the damn thing filled. We have this tendency as humans to want to fill the gap.
That's right.
And so you got to fill it in. And so that's what that is. Somebody figured out you can do this with short clips.
That is a very good psychological insight.
There is no reason to want to watch the rest of the damn movie, except for that factor. He said himself it's junk.
Yeah. That's pretty crazy that people want to do that.
I know. Oh no, it's empty. I gotta put it in there.
I should probably mention, since we're talking about apps and scams. I got a note from one of our producers, Sam, who said, I think you should bring this particular internet scam to attention because it's easy for people to fall into this. And this is a couple of years ago, but when he was 25, he was on the dating app Hinge, which I've heard of. Have you heard of Hinge? I think we
No, I've never heard of Hinge.
Yeah, Hinge. It's like a Tinder, it's different. So he was matched with a girl who was 23, talked on the app for about 2 days, every hour or so. You know, the responses were good. Then they exchanged text numbers. And then she asked for a picture. He sends back a cell some safe work pic. So of course, 25-year-old guy, he's excited. So after about 5 hours, someone listen, girls, they might want to fight me and so we took her phone away. We saw that she's been texting. You've been texting her. She's 16. Right, so here's the setup. She threatened to kill herself. I'm sitting at the hospital now with my daughter, and I'm going to press charges against you, sick pedophile bastard. So of course, kid then, he's freaking out. It's like, no, but wait, she said she was 23, and he's
wow, this is a good one.
But wait. So then, the kid, the father, so-called father, sent something like, son, if you know it's good for you, you're going to make this right. Otherwise, it will ruin your life for being a pedophile. And then, of course, he's like, you need to pay. You need to pay for the pain you've caused my daughter. And if not, I'm going to hand you over to the police. So he does nothing, gets a phone call from the local police officer, which we know, these are all different scams rolled into one. And the police officer then says, I really advise you should pay the father. You don't want to be labeled a sex offender. I mean, this is, of course it was a scam. He just didn't do anything and it went away. Because he confirmed the badge number, and it wasn't a valid badge number.
Well, it doesn't work.
But this is very sophisticated. This is a very sophisticated scam.
Well, it's more advanced for hey granddad call, which I've gotten twice. Both times from okay. Hey granddad. Yeah, your grand arrested. Yeah. I said, the way the grandkids old enough to get arrested, it doesn't work.
That's what you
think. Anyway, so, and the people have fallen for this.
Yes. Oh, yes.
And that's the simplest of all of those things, besides all the calls you normally get. Of course, why doesn't law enforcement crack down on this? It is doable.
Well, the problem is
and the number, we've played clips, the trillions of dollars are being scammed, worldwide by these people, and nothing's being done about it.
And by the way, a few shows back, I didn't read it, but we got boots on the ground report from someone who's in law enforcement, and women, particularly older women, fall for this all the time. Someone friends them on Facebook. He's such a nice man. And they build up a relationship over weeks. And then the question comes, can you just spot me $1,000? And before you know it, they've sent $100,000 of their retirement money. The family is, this is true love. We have a real relationship. This is legit, and you can't convince them otherwise.
Yeah. Well, there was one of the Fox shows about how some woman lost $850,000 to a Brad Pitt.
Why are we still doing podcasts? What losers we are. Think about. Well, you and I could do voices. Hey, how you doing? You could sit on TikTok all day, reeling them in. Yeah, it'd be great. No,
this is someone claiming to be Brad Pitt, and the question that the panel was asking, well, who thinks Brad Pitt needs money. I mean, the whole thing is stupid.
Well, it's just, that's how it goes. You do 100 a day, you hit one, you track it, you got a database. The internet was a bad idea.
No, that's what I always say. That's been my claim since day one. But it's not just the internet. Most of these things, most of the scams are telephone scams. There's no internet involved.
Yes. Yeah. By the way,
this has to be stopped.
Do you have any Delulu clips for today?
No Delulu clips for today.
Oh, yeah. No, but I got a note from one of our producers who starts by saying, I hadn't been hit in the mouth before the last election, but I'm sure you've covered all of the Trump will still be president YouTubers and TikTokers. So she is, I think she may be young. I was getting all the updates from a friend who was totally invested, from the theories around ballets to those she thought were, from the theories around ballots to those she thought were true prophets. She told me later that she had made detailed plans for her suicide if these things didn't come to pass, and was only stopped by feeling God's clear intervention. In November, a family member had a close liberal friend attempt suicide the day after Trump's election. People on the left are truly terrified about the next term, and if I heard and believed what they do, I probably would be too. These Team Delulu theorists and prophets sadly may really hurt the people that believe in them. I agree. It's along the same lines. If people will believe that Brad Pitt needs some cash.
See, what they're talking about is the liberal equivalent of QAnon. It's going to have the same effect.
Into the quantum dots. Just be fair. And Q. Oh man, bring back Q. That was so fun.
There we go.
Please,
exactly.
He's still around.
I know. Please don't send me an email. He's still here. He's got proofs. Follow the breadcrumbs. I've become cynical in my old age. The show is being ruined because I'm becoming like you. It's just ruining the show.
It's not. Well,
it's ruining the show.
No, it's giving. Now we have. No, it's. I think it's fine. I think we can hang in there.
Okay. For 4 more years. We can do it.
4 more years.
We can do it.
All right, let's talk a little bit about the fires.
Oh, you mean Newsom's Inferno?
Is that another one?
You like it? Do you like it?
Yeah, I like Newsom's Inferno.
I think Newsom's Inferno is good. Can I start?
Where did that come from?
I will tell you, because I did not make it up myself. I want to be clear. This is one of our producers. Hold on. It was Michael Falwell. Michael came up with it. But we will appropriate it, and from now on, it is a no-agenda term.
I like it.
Yes.
I think it's a show title.
I think it's a possible show title. I'd like to start us off with Jimmy Kimmel. Just to get it.
That poor guy. What a pathetic soul he's turned out to be.
As you know, it has been a very scary, very stressful, very strange week here in LA, where we work. Where we live.
Who's already crying?
Kids go to school. We are back at our studio, which we had to evacuate on Wednesday. That's our building right there, the El Capitan. That is how close this fire was to our theater here. Many of us had to leave our homes in a hurry. Some of our coworkers lost their homes. That's Hollywood.
Yes.
It's
feels like every clip I hear of this guy, he's crying.
Terrible. Everyone who lives in this city knows someone, most of us, multiple people, families, friends, colleagues, neighbors whose houses burned down. And the truth is, we don't even know if it's over. We had 100-mile-per-hour winds fueling this nightmare. As of tonight, the winds are back. And I think I speak for all of us when I say it has been a sickening, shocking, awful experience, but has also been, in a lot of ways, a beautiful experience, because once again, we see our fellow men and women coming together to support each other. People who lost their own homes, volunteering in parking lots, helping others who lost theirs. And tonight,
yes, we're here to talk show, not helping. Yes.
Get into all the vile and irresponsible and stupid things our alleged future president and his gaggle of scumbags chose to say during our most terrifying hour. The fact that
What's Trump got to do with the fires?
Because Kimmel's job here is to be a political weapon, whatever he's trying to do. Does anyone still watch that show? Let's take a look.
Well, somebody did to get that clip, but I don't.
Well,
I find it's hard to watch.
Well, 11 more seconds.
I mean, he had a nice formula going for a while, but it's become the Trump derangement situation with him has gone out of control. And now to throw Trump into these, to anyone who brings Trump into the conversation regarding these fires has got a screw loose. Trump had nothing to do with these fires, one way or the other, and his comments about the fires are minor, and they're who cares what he has to say? He doesn't say anything about them. It's not his business. He's not president.
No. Well, we'll finish this up.
Future president and his gaggle of scumbags chose to say during our darkest and most terrifying hour. The fact that they chose to attack our firefighters, who apparently aren't white enough to be out there risking their lives on our behalf, it's disgusting, but it's not surprising. Instead, I want to focus on thanking those men and women.
Oh, yes. He should have just gone off the air.
Well, he's a guy who's been caught in blackface more than once. He was actually suspended for a while because of it, and should have been canceled, but he wasn't. And so now he's back, and he can't even hold it together. Can't even produce a show. I mean, it's not all. Everything that takes place in the world is not about LA and its fires.
I have a mini supercut.
Of the fires?
Yes, of course I do. Here it is.
It essentially looks like a bomb went off out here.
It looks like a bomb went off here as well.
It looks like a bomb went off.
It looks like it was carpet bombed. Every single home is obliterated. It looks like a bomb went off.
Cars obliterated like bombs went off.
It looks like a bomb went off. It looks apocalyptic.
It looks like Hiroshima. A bomb went off. Everything is gone.
It looks like Hiroshima.
It looks like literally a nuclear bomb went off and leveled our entire city.
It looks like a disaster zone, like a bomb
Fucking
went off.
foreshadowing much.
Like a bomb went off. It looks like a bomb went off. It's really unbelievable.
It looks like a bomb went off. The truth wants to come out everywhere on this thing. It's kind of frightening. This is the Los Angeles County Public Works Director.
And my first piece of advice to you is let's take care of our mental and physical health first before we embark upon what is going to be a journey to rebuild these communities back and rebuild them better than they were when we
build back better.
What?
Wow.
What?
Yeah, good. That's a great catch.
Oh, no. That's horrible. I can't believe you said that. There was another one.
It's truth. Yeah. It's still.
Yeah, let me see. There was another one here, I thought. Oh, yes. This is another funny one.
And by the way, with respect to the charges I'm going to announce, please know this.
This is the Los Angeles District Attorney.
The charges themselves are not evidence. Everyone that I'm going to describe today is presumed guilty until and unless they are proven their guilt is proven by the government beyond a reasonable doubt.
So they're all guilty. They're guilty. The arsonists, they're all guilty. And
they let the one arsonist, they already let him go.
Yeah, but there's plenty of videos of people setting fires, and this is what happens. This is what happens when you have a rotten society.
Yeah, they're torching it when they can.
And I was kind of amazed by this. This is a TikToker.
Hard work? What are you talking about? I'm sitting on my ass all day. I ain't doing shit.
She had this to say.
I want to take a minute to talk about looting because I think it's worth considering why people would run into an active fire to steal stuff rather than fleeing the fire. And it seems like in the media coverage that I'm listening to that people think that people are just like greedy who want to be looting. And I'm just wondering if maybe these people have actually considered whether it is safer for them to run into a fire or to continue to exist within capitalism without access to resources. And after weighing the pros and cons, they concluded that the safer option is to run into the fire to steal stuff. Because you never see it like Elon or Jeff or Mark running into a fire to steal stuff because they don't have to run into a fire to steal stuff. They can just steal from their workers via wage theft. And that's legal within capitalism.
Wage theft?
To stop looting.
The fuck is that phrase?
The solution isn't to have more police, but rather to have a system system where people don't feel like it's a better option to run into a fire.
This is so short-sighted. First of all, these are
not only that, but nobody's running into the fire.
No.
As the fires are over, as the houses that are left are the ones being looted, so she's full of shit from the get-go.
But the looting that's socialism in reverse. Either you give your stuff up front or they steal it from you later. You're going to lose your stuff, lady, with what you want. It's just these... And we have producers who live out there who have been affected by this. It really is no laughing matter. But looking at the possible, never let a good crisis go to waste. A lot of people commented on this clip of Newsom, and the minute he talks about speculators buying up properties, he's shaking his shoulders. He's wiggling his shoulders.
Yes, this is as strange as this clip is better if we were a video showing it. But I think people can find it. Yeah, he's wiggling around like some sort of like he's got the ants crawling up him or something.
Well, if you listen now, so that was the distraction. If you listen to what he's actually saying, it sounds to me like he wants to help these speculators. Listen now, this is good that there's no video.
We're dealing with a myriad of issues. I was just talking to Josh Green, the governor.
Laugh tell? Why is the laugh tell? Why the laugh tell, Newsom? Why are you laughing?
I was just talking to Josh Green, the governor down in Hawaii, who had some ideas around some land use concerns he has around speculators coming in, buying up properties, and the like. So we're already working with our legal teams to move those things forward. And
to move those things forward?
Wow, you're right. This is interesting. It's possible that the wiggling around was distracting from what he's saying.
Completely. He's saying we have...
Same thing that happened to North Carolina, same thing that happened to Hawaii.
Yes, we're in the market. Let's listen to it in context one more time.
We're dealing with a myriad of issues. I was just talking to Josh Green, the governor down in Hawaii, who had some ideas around some land use concerns he has around speculators coming in, buying up properties, and the like. So we're already working with our legal teams to move those things forward, and we'll be presenting those in a matter of days, not just weeks.
We'll be presenting those to who? To the speculators? This is
exactly what he said.
So I need to go back to the Meet the Press stylized interview where he talked about the rebuilding.
You're here with us at Meet the Press to announce a new executive order. What is this executive order? What are you hoping to accomplish?
Look, we've got to be thinking 3 weeks, 3 months, 3 years ahead. At the same time, we're focusing on the immediacy, which is
3 months, 3 weeks, 3 years.
Fast track,
Wait. Hold the fuck up. 3 months, 3 weeks, 3 years. Hold the fuck up.
Wait a minute, I'll just stop there for a second. Perfect for speculators. Hey, if you come in, buy this.
Please leave your message for 518.
God damn it.
Environmental regulations. If you're going to be suspending those temporarily, are you concerned about problems that may result from the suspension of those environmental regulations and the potential use by developers?
Yeah, we're not going to within this executive order. We frame those reasons. We basically bookmark that in the context of maintaining the existing footprints on the coastal line. They're not just a 10% variant.
So that 3 weeks, 3 months, 3 years is the exact same time between... Now this is going to sound fucking psychotic, alright? This is going to sound crazy. It's the exact amount of time between the release of the vaccines on December 12th, 2020 or 2021 and that first eclipse that was 3 years later. It's the exact 3 months, 3 weeks, 3 years, 3 days. And if you had 3 months, 3 weeks, 3 years, 3 days from that, you get an eclipse that happens on August 2nd in 2027. So it's very weird that he fucking says that exact time. No, I'm saying, it's fucking schizo shit. I get that. But
and then the Olympics.
So odd time.
Building effort needing to take place. Is LA going to be ready for all of those global events?
My humble position, and it's not just being naively optimistic, that only reinforces the imperative moving quickly, doing in the spirit of collaboration, cooperation.
Move quick.
President of the United States, Donald Trump.
Yo, AT. Yo, AT, you there? Alright, he'll be here in a moment.
Spirit that comes from not just hosting those 3 iconic games and venues, but also the opportunity, I think, to rebuild at the same time. And that's why we're already organizing a Marshall Plan. We already have a team of looking at reimagining LA 2.0. And we're making sure everyone's included, not just folks on the coast, people here that were ravaged by this disaster.
So, everybody gets to participate in LA 2.0, and it will be a dystopia. It's going to be great. Here is LA Smart City Strategy, which was already on the books for 2028. Let's accelerate.
Hi, my name is Ted Ross, Chief Information Officer at the City of Los Angeles. As you know, we live in a world full of urban challenges. From traffic congestion that takes our time and pollutes our environment, to natural disasters that threaten the safety of our communities. To address these challenges, Los Angeles looks to smart city technology that can positively transform our urban environment. While not a silver bullet, technology provides solutions that were previously unavailable to the generations who lived before us. It is technology that enables transparency in our policing and gives a powerful voice to our diverse communities. It's technology that innovates alternative energy sources to reduce pollution and limit our carbon footprint. And it is technology that provides ultra-high-speed internet connectivity for LA residents and businesses to do amazing things. Technology enables the city of LA to efficiently and ethically improve the quality of life for our residents, businesses, and visitors. In other words, when done right, technology makes us smarter. That's why the city of Los Angeles strives to be a smart city. And there's never been a more important time for Los Angeles to be smart than now. As we prepare to host the world in the 2028 Summer Olympics and Paralympics.
So, would you like to hear the 5-point plan?
Well, I might as well.
I think you should.
In LA, we believe smart cities are much more than software you purchase or sensors that you install in the cityscape.
Oh, it's much more. In fact, it's exactly that.
A smart city is an integrated, intelligent, urban ecosystem.
Oh, John, can you see the PowerPoint?
And this is why I live in my truck, because fuck all that. I don't want any part of that. Leave me the fuck alone.
Ingredients that must work together for the benefit of the public.
You see that on the screen, like your washing machine is connected to your car, it's connected to your house. It's beautiful.
Imagine you miss a payment on your Tesla and it opens your garage door on its own and drives itself back to the fucking dealership. Oh, what a great world we're going into.
Smart city infrastructure. This is the physical technology used to deliver smart city technologies, such as Department of Transportation's ATSAC traffic management system, which uses 4,500 connected traffic intersections to reduce travel time by more than 13%. Or the Public Works street lighting's 165,000 LED street lamps that saves $3 million a year in electricity.
And spy on you.
Second, our smart city data tools. This is the ability to share information across the smart city when you need it, where you need it.
And to track people.
Such as Sanitation's Clean Streets program that proactively improves street cleanliness across 6,500 miles of LA streets. Or our Data Science Federation, which every semester matches university data scientists in training with LA urban challenges. Third is Smart City Digital Services, which are the apps and websites used to digitally deliver city services to the public.
Hey, give me some service, city. I have the app.
Including the award-winning MyLA 311 mobile app, providing access to 1,500 city services through your smartphone.
Can you remove this homeless person from my stoop?
Or the Shake Alert LA app that provides up to 45 seconds of advance warning of a coming earthquake.
You're gonna die. You have 45 seconds.
You have 45 seconds.
This is great.
Fourth, our smart city connectivity and digital inclusion.
Smart city digital inclusion.
This is the work that we do to ensure that all LA communities and businesses have access to the internet.
And just remember, the idea of smart cities and 15-minute cities were being called conspiracy theories about 3 years ago.
Here, have an old Dell. money.
Across all of our 42 city departments. In fact, the city of Los Angeles is a founding member of the I3 consortium, along with the University of Southern California and 90 other partners, which has built an open source Internet of Things data aggregator as a smart city data marketplace.
Well,
no, there was the buzz phrase of the decade.
Marketplace. Whatever they're talking about.
Internet of Things. Go back it up and play that if you can.
Yeah, of course.
Internet of Things. Blah 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 blah.
Hold on. Internet of Things. Here we go.
This is a founding member of the I3 consortium, along with the University of Southern California and 90 other partners, which has built an open source Internet of Things data aggregator as a smart city data marketplace.
An open source Internet of Things data aggregator to blah blah blah.
What bull crap.
Suck up the money. And KTLA, they know it's all about the money.
All right, David, Lazarus sorting it out to answer a couple of questions. Damage, obviously, the LA wildfires in the billions. I think it's 275.
That's the highest.
Maybe for the Palisades alone. I don't know.
That's for all the fires, yeah.
Okay, so those are expenses initial, but this will be more expenses.
Yeah, I mean, once we get the fires out and people safe, this turns into a money story, and that story is going to last for decades. As we've been talking about, the damage estimates now top $250 billion, and let's face it, insurers are just simply not equipped to handle anywhere close to that level of claims. Beyond that, there's the cost to utilities for restoring infrastructure, there's the cost to municipalities for rebuilding schools and other public resources, and the cost of meeting the ongoing needs of thousands and thousands of displaced residents. And then there's public health. Experts are already warning of increases in asthma, cancer, resulting from exposure to wildfire smoke and toxins. And as if all that wasn't enough, rents are projected to continue rising as demand significantly outpaces available supply for rental properties. All of this adds up to difficulties on the economic front. Clearly, federal assistance is going to be needed, but some politicians are already saying California is going to have to make political concessions if they want federal aid, and that just complicates things.
Boots on the ground from JL. Mr. Curry, I've lived in Southern California for 57 years. I have 29 years experience in disaster response with county, state, and federal agencies. I grew up in Pasadena, the Eden Fire, LA County. I can tell you, you are completely correct when you say that disaster is a moneymaker. A large fire is a boon to not only firefighters, but the myriad of private contractors as well as other government workers, hotels who put up responders, food service contractors, laundry service contractors, aircraft contractors, water tender contractors, generator contractors, repair contractors, transportation contractors. All the staff comes with the big rigs. Lots and lots and lots of money. Santa Ana winds are an annual occurrence in Southern California. They've contributed to a number of large fires over the years. What is a bit odd about this? They typically seem to arrive in October-ish, but this is not exclusive. We've had little rain, so the dry vegetation is the problem. There's no stopping a fire when it's wind-driven in this fashion. My hometown has been devastated. Fortunately, all of the family property is untouched by flames, and we're happy to hear that. So it's a big money maker, and that's what Gavin Newsom is telling about. Money. And very wrong about sprinklers. I'm sure you noticed this.
Well, a lot of people wrote in about there are more tanks than we thought.
No, not the tanks, but about sprinklers in homes. Since 2011, this has been a requirement in California, and many...
Yeah, but most of those houses in Pacific Palisades weren't built in 2011. They were always there.
So there's plenty of evidence to the contrary. I would say we weren't completely right. I think we should just take the L on this one.
I'm not going to do that.
Okay. Adam@curry.com to email John. That's what always happens.
Now, I got a couple of clips here that are kind of interesting. This is the underreported clip. This is the Act Blue clip.
Oh, yes. Yes, this is a good one.
California Governor Gavin Newsom is trying to defend his handling of the state's deadly wildfire outbreak. And we just told you about his latest attacks toward President-elect Trump. And now he's launching this new website, guys, aimed at combating supposed misinformation around his response to the fires. There's also an option on the website to donate to the California Fire Fund. But here's the thing, it's not a direct donation. Even though there are ways to donate directly to the fund, instead here, the governor is accepting donations through the Democratic fundraising platform Act Blue, which, side note, guys, takes nearly 4% in processing fees. And he's not the only Democrat doing this. Your favorite Senator Elizabeth Warren urged her followers to use her Act Blue link. So did the hosts over at the progressive podcast Pod Save America. Jason, I want to ask you about that. I asked this neutrally. Is it standard protocol to have sort of fundraising for disaster relief occur through Democratic super PAC organizations?
I have never heard or seen of that before. And it is a Democratic-run organization, and they do get a financial benefit for every dollar that goes through it. Think of all the ones they could have donated to, everything from the Red Cross to, I mean, you name it. They could have gone directly to helping people, but no, they're crass enough to put it through a Democratic-run organization called Act Blue.
Crass indeed. And Kayla, that's the point. Just to hammer home, you can always donate directly to this fire fund. And instead of just linking directly, the governor put it through his super PAC political activist Democratic Party site.
Yeah, it's a horrible look.
So the real kicker here is not even the 4% that they're stealing.
It's through his PAC.
It's the fact that they're collecting the email addresses, the addresses, the demographics, whatever they can get. This is a mailing list scam.
They're the TikTok of politics. It's horrible. It's horrible.
That is horrible, and it's not being covered well. At least the mainstream sure not talking about it. I have two more clips. First is the LA Times report. The LA Times seems to be at least doing some work on this fire. Fire LA Times.
Yes, got it.
New reporting from the Los Angeles Times is calling into question how prepared LA County was in advance of the deadly wildfires that are raging across the region. As NPR's Liz Baker reports, city officials claim that high-risk areas ahead of the powerful winds that continue to fuel the blazes.
The LA Times alleges that last Tuesday night, as hurricane-force gusts sent flames and embers towards residential neighborhoods, the LA Fire Department only deployed 5 out of 40 available engines, and roughly 1,000 off-duty firefighters were only called in after the firestorm had already gotten out of control. In a press conference, LA Fire Department Chief Kristen Crowley responded.
We follow a system. We did that. We pre-deployed the necessary resources, knowing that, or not knowing, I should be very specific, in where a fire might break out in the city.
When pushed for comment, LA Mayor Karen Bass said, quote, "The buck always stops with me," but refused to elaborate further.
Did you see the owner of the Los Angeles Times?
What about him?
He's the, what is his name, Asian dude?
Yeah, Chong something.
Well, first of all, we'll accept some blame, right? So at the LA Times, we endorse Karen Bass. I think right now in front, that's a mistake, and we admit that. So I thought it was very important early on for me to come out. And I think we were one of the few to say competence matters.
By the way, this guy has the oddest head in the world. His head is like Stewie's head.
It's a funny shaped head.
It's
yes,
a very funny shaped head.
Guy's extremely bright.
Yeah,
between 23.
But he got, he bought the paper and he was run over, essentially run over by the staff of lefties.
Yep.
And that he backed off, and now he's like doing what the Washington Post and say, you can't do this, you can't do that. And we quit.
Yeah.
And so people, these reporters have to think twice about quitting in this market. But okay, go ahead and go to the podcast.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up. So I will stop the LA Times owner clip, and I will go to the latest venture, which includes a refugee from WAPO. I'm sure you've just so brave of Jen Rubin, who is in this video with her glasses askew on her head. I kid you not. One is, how they're not level.
Right. She also has a portrait of herself behind herself when she's doing this little presentation.
This is fantastic. This is the textbook example of a failure from the get-go.
Hi, I'm Jen Rubin.
And I'm Norm Eisen.
I have to announce I am leaving the Washington Post in order to co-found with Norm an exciting new online platform, The Contrarian. Woo! We are going to bring you written material, podcasts, interviews, social media, all in defense of democracy. Our intent is to combat the authoritarian force that we all face. Life to help.
Also has to be very vocal about culture. We'll have a humor column. Oh! We'll even have a cooking column. Cooking! But we're gonna sprinkle in a little bit of pro-democracy flavor.
And we're gonna have pets. We're very pro-pets.
We have pets.
So please, join us in this journey. We cannot do this without you. We want your contributions, your input, your ideas.
Thank you for joining The Contrarian.
She's going to be the left-wing Joe Rogan, I tell you. Jen Rubin for the win.
That's unbelievable.
This is fantastic.
Well, you mentioned Karen Bass. I do want to play this Karen Bass clip because it's this little tidbit that should be known. This is Karen Bass in Cuba.
You know, listen, a lot of people have been talking about, who's to blame, whether it's Gavin Newsom or the mayor. A lot of people don't realize that Karen Bass is actually, we talk about these left-wing policies. She has ties to communism. She was cutting sugarcane in Cuba. She's had 15 trips to Cuba, met with Fidel Castro. She is a solid communist, so don't be surprised that your policies make your city look like this when you put a communist and a communist sympathizer at the top of your of the heap as the mayor of Los Angeles. It's not surprising. They manage things. Look at how Cuba's managed, and now look at this.
Oh, okay, Fox. Okay. Sugarcane Karen. There it is. Sugarcane Karen.
Oh, yeah. I like it. Yes. You're coming up with good gems.
I'm on fire today.
Not as good as bondage, but you're getting there.
Now, I'm a little upset just looking at your clip list. You sent me an email, and you made a big stink about it in the newsletter. Where's your Who Killed JFK material?
I have 2 clips.
Oh, good. Yeah, I knew you had it. Because, and I want to lead into this, because Alex Jones, about the LA fire, he's saying we have to stop saying it's incompetence. He has to say it's criminal negligence. This is the globalists. This was the plan all along. They want to build LA into a smart city. I think he has some points.
He always has points. He's got good points. It's just that overall there's something sketchy about Alex Jones, and I think this.
But then he comes out with this video, which when I saw it, I'm like, isn't this just promotion for a book that came out?
I'm not sure what it. Well, the book already came out. Roger Stone had a book already that developed most of this material, which was the idea that LBJ killed Kennedy. Mm-hmm. This one guy to the Mac.
Come on, man! You're the one that sent it. This is your beat. Mac
Walsh. He got away with murder very early on, and one of Lyndon Johnson's lawyers got him off of a murder rap where he was found guilty of murder, and he gets a suspended sentence for some unknown reason. This is Texas politics. Texas is at its best is more corrupt than any place.
We're great. Number one, foam finger number one.
And so Lyndon Johnson then had the guy by the nuts and said, you're going to have to, you got to kill Kennedy. Well, he killed a bunch of people, this guy. Yeah. Besides just Kennedy, supposedly. And I still don't buy the Kennedy thing. And I think this whole tape that Jones played was, and Jones made a point that it's not AI, he says. Well, it is, I think, AI, but it's beside the point. This clip is dubious because when you're talking to somebody, like, if you call me on the phone, do you, or if you're in person in particular, do you say, well, John, what do you think about that, John?
You hate it when people do that.
Nobody does it. Do you? Do you, Adam? Adam, do you do that, Adam?
Well, John? From time to time, I have been known to do this, but it's really to accentuate a point. Like if you killed somebody, I'd say, "Well, John, you know, you got that guy to kill him."
Yes, that's what.
So yeah.
So I have the basic clip that Jones played, which is the Estes basic clip, and then I ran it through Adobe.
Oh, okay.
To clean it up. And when you try, you can't clean it up, but what you can understand when you play it through Adobe is that it kind of screws it up in some parts, and then the other part gets really normal, and the background noise is always the same.
Oh, you've done deep forensic analysis, I could say.
I did some. How deep it is.
With Adobe.
But I'm telling you, it shows me that this clip is fake. But let's listen to it. If you can understand it, if you don't want to play the whole thing because it's unintelligible, it's
one of those that you really need the captions.
You need the subtitles. Billy Saul Estes talking to this Cliff guy who was the chief of staff for Lyndon Johnson, and talking about how.
So let's go to your forensic experiment. We have cleaned it up.
Now listen to how bad the fake part. Now you have to listen now for this topic.
You're good to be. How's life treat you today? Well, Sal, it's been a pretty technical situation. Lyndon and I have had quite a few unpleasant words here lately.
It sounds like Bill Clinton. I think Bill Clinton killed Kennedy. That's what it sounds like.
Well, the deal with the hired Mike Wallace to assassinate the president, it's been hectic in every way. But we've lived through it this far. I guess we'll continue to do so. Lyndon should have never issued that order to Mike. We've had our differences, and
it's interesting how some of it's really good, and then all of a sudden
it goes right into being legible, which is what Adobe's put. I think this has been
doctored.
And now the story behind this tape, which is that this guy is Billy Saul Estes, who's a very people can look at his past history, but he was a corrupt guy, but it's seemingly a great family, blah blah blah. But he's handed this down, and it got handed down to, I guess, the grandson, who was told that he'll know when to release it. And so I'm
going to do it on Alex Jones' show.
So he releases it curiously just before we know two things. One, we know that supposedly Trump has promised to release the Kennedy stuff, the Kennedy information.
The timing.
Throw shade on Lyndon Johnson and get this is what is a story that makes some sense, and it takes the CIA. The CIA, even though I don't think the CIA killed Kennedy, I don't think they do that to American politicians, but I think the mob did, which is we talked about. Couldn't stop. They tried. Maybe, who knows? But the CIA's got some involvement. But this is a distraction to throw off what's going to happen, because I have to assume the CIA could have produced this. This could also have been.
Hey, fuck up. Yesterday I was at 10-degree weather. Now it's 60 degrees outside.
I think the whole thing's going to come out.
Fuck.
They're going to throw the blame on Lyndon Johnson. This is bull crap. It's a op. This is an op, and Jones is part of it.
Who needs QAnon when you've got John C. Dvorak? This is excellent. I appreciate that. And with that, I will say in the morning to you, the man who put the C in sugarcane Karen. Say hello to my friend on the other end, the one, the only Mr. John C.
In the morning, I'm training more ship sequence and graphene. They are subs in the morning, dames and nights out there.
In the morning to the tools in the tool room. What are we supposed to have on Thursdays? 1978, baby. Woo! We're blowing it out of the water with the trolls. Hello, trolls.
That's when
it's good to have you here, trolls. Very good to have you checking in. Trollroom.io or noagenda.stream, and of course the modern podcast apps. You want to grab one of those? You want to grab them before everything's taken off the App Store. You know that if you stop your subscription with Audible, your audio books go away. You can't play them.
This happened to you?
Yeah, it's a big scam.
It is a scam.
The way it works is, it's not like you're a member of Audible and you can buy
have a copy of the book. You didn't back up a copy?
Silly me. I just paid the subscription and it all came back to life. The way they do it, though, the scam is you get credits. Credits. Give me some credit, man. They give you credits every month, and those are for books. So you're paying for books that you haven't bought. And so Tina's like, hey,
sorry?
Yes. So you're buying books every month, whether you use your credits or not. So I have 12 credits.
For 12 books?
Yes. Now I can download 12 more books, but I have to keep paying. It's like a library that has you chained. You're shackled.
Huh.
Yeah. Silicon Valley. It's no good. So get one of those modern podcast apps, because your podcast will not go away. Not this podcast, not the best podcast in the universe, or any other podcast, unless it's removed at the source. But it won't go away like things have been known to disappear from Spotify. And if you listen to podcasts with ads on Spotify, you can't skip them. How about that nonsense? Yeah. Yeah, if you listen to a podcast on Spotify that is hosted by arguably the largest ad insertion company, Megaphone, which they purchased, you cannot skip the ads in your Spotify app. How about that?
It's good for the advertiser.
It's great for the advertiser. It's great for the modern podcast apps, because you can skip them there. Podcastapps.com.
Should be able to skip anything. You should be able to skip anything you want. You should be able to skip the ads, the content, whatever you want to skip. You should be able to skip.
Nope, can't do it. So we run this.
What kind of control is that? This is not helping the end user.
Remember the promise. It'll be great. You will control everything. You don't control anything. Just like we're not controlled, because we have the value for value model. So we're not controlled about what we say, how we say it, when we say it, our own thinking about what we talk about. There's no control about that. Value for value means we're free to give you top-notch value as a service to humanity. We're happy to do it. All we ask for in return is that from time to time, whenever you feel the need, whenever you feel that you've received enough value, or it's just so valuable you need to send something back, you can do it with time, talent, and treasure. Actually, I got a note from Zach. He's thinking of starting a value for value bakery for cookies. He says, so he has a break room, about 60 people in the company, and they have a family business.
Be robbed blind if he was in San Francisco.
He says he wants to try it. No, he's not in San Francisco. He says, do you think it will work? He says it costs about 15 cents a cookie, sometimes a little more, to make them. Between 15 cents and $1. Do you think that value for value will work at the break room with about 60 people in the company? And I'm like, you should try it. Let us know.
It's like the Honor Bar. It's like the Honor Farms that we have in Washington State.
They work,
it's
right?
It's like the Honor. They work, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's the Honor Bar, and there's a lot of companies have a little, thing where they have a bunch of candy. They have a little. You're supposed to donate to the candy fund.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not an unusual situation.
Yeah.
But if you have honest employees, but if you have one or two criminals. Doesn't take that much, and it ruins it for everybody.
Yeah, we don't want criminals. You gotta have
criminals are no good.
You have a value for value stooges who snitch and post everybody's name who didn't.
Just put hidden cameras. That's the way to go.
Part of our value for value is time and talent, along with the treasure, and the time and talent comes most frequently in the form of end-of-show mixes. We appreciate all of our end-of-show mixers and our artists who post to No Agenda given up. But the last batch, we had a lot to choose from, all AI, and none of it really spectacular. It's okay. It's clean looking, looks good. It was Data who brought us really the one that we liked the most, which was the just very sad looking Bambi in front of the burning Hollywood sign. But it wasn't something that people went, wow, that's awesome, that's great art. People just don't do that.
No, not with some of the stuff.
No, and it's crazy that Darren O'Neill, who has no other skills that we know of, has somehow figured out how to be.
He's one of the best guys I've seen do this.
He's one of the best prompt jockeys I've ever. I mean, he can get a job anywhere. No, instead he spends his time, all 6'6" of him, just making art for us. And we can't choose Darren all the time. We just can't.
I did choose him again for the
I know you did. I saw
newsletter.
I saw it. Yeah. I saw it. So we like Data. We like what Data did. Let's see what else there was. It was just I feel bad for our Dutch masters. They've given up. They just given up. I'm not gonna do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. AI has ruined. A lot of gay fire hydrants. Okay, we got it. A lot of babes dressed up as fire women, which is like, I felt it was just inappropriate. I did like a comic strip blogger who came in fast and hard with a thermometer stuck in it. Good job, comic strip blogger. Yeah, we're gonna choose that one.
I like the DEI dropping Gatorade.
Yeah, but the problem I had with it is who did that? Condi. You couldn't, I look at the Gatorade logo, I'm not a sports ball guy, and so it didn't
register. You didn't know what it was, just G.
Yeah, I'm like, what's the G for? I don't get it. Yeah, Gatorade. Actually, it turns out, I have some clips on what that stuff is. Do you know about the fire suppressant?
Technically, no, but I would be interested.
I'm glad you're interested.
And it's not green, it's red.
It is red.
Have you ever wondered what the fire retardant that air tankers drop during a wildfire?
Yes.
And what do you do if any of that fire retardant gets on your vehicle or your home?
Yes,
well, let's break it down and talk about what fire retardant is. First, wildland firefighting retardant is primarily made of water. In fact, 85% of the chemical compound is water. The remainder of it is 10% is fertilizer. Various different fertilizers can make up fire retardant, and that fertilizer does a couple things. One, it cools down the vegetation, coating the brush, the trees with the retardant, so that by the time the fire gets to it, it slows down the fire, it takes out the heat, so that firefighters on the ground can actually put the fire out. The last remaining is the 5% of other minor ingredients, one of those being the color. We dye it red, this kind of pinkish color, specifically because that's the easiest for our pilots in the air to see where the retardant has been dropped. In some cases, we're going to connect drop after drop after drop. And so we want to make sure that it's easily visible, and so we use a very high, powerful color like this red. We've tested other colors before, but it's this reddish color, this light reddish color, that really is the best.
I was just thinking, now with red dye number 3 on the chopping block, do you think that's
4 or 2? I don't know which number
3. Number 3. Do you think that's what they use? Red dye number 3?
Well, they probably do. It's one of the great dyes of the world.
Well, it's for both.
Killing everybody. Well, and here's the other thing. Doesn't fertilizers used to make bombs?
I know. I found that peculiar myself.
So
the Anfo bomb.
That's true that fertilizer is used to make explosives. It's a particular kind of fertilizer. It's ammonium nitrate. And there's some history to that in World War II, how it even became fertilizer. That after World War II, the ammonium nitrate producers had an excess of ammonium nitrate, and they somehow discovered that if you throw it in the ground, it promotes growth in plants. But it also depletes the nutrients. That's why you got a bunch of soil deficiencies out in the Midwest that have used this stuff a bunch. There are other fertilizers, one being lime, which where my dad works, his company produces a bunch of lime. They got a mine up in Alaska where they get it from, and that's also used as a fertilizer, and that's not used as an explosive. So there's a number of different kinds of fertilizer rather than just the explosive ones. But whatever you do, don't buy ammonium nitrate in bulk. You'll get a knock on your door.
It has ingredients like ammonia, which may burn if it gets into...
Dude, they have fertilizer and ammonia?
No, fertilizer's ammonium nitrate.
That stuff burns.
That's the stuff you use to make bombs.
That's crazy.
And into your skin. So you want to make sure that you're cleaning it off really quickly. You can use a garden hose, go on top of your roof.
If you have water.
Spray it down on your home. Cars with smooth surfaces, typically that fire retardant will come off very easily. If not, you can take a brush or a rag and just help to scrub it off. Again, mostly water will help get it.
No, there you go.
Wow, that was a very educational clip for the audience.
Bonus clip. It's a bonus clip. Bonus clip. Was there anything else on the art we needed to just... I thought, by the way, Sir Shugs, your phone out of minutes was funny. It didn't quite come across. I thought it was a funny bit. When you said you had to fill up your phone. And then trying to put, like, so-called lesbians saving Bambi in the forest. You liked it.
I did not. I didn't say anything about that clip. No.
Clip, the art.
I mean, about that piece of art. You're talking about the lesbians with the Bambi? No, the ones I liked. No, I did like the lesbian ones with the fire dikes. That's the one I liked. I don't think...
Completely unrealistic women.
Well, I didn't want to pick it. This is Scaramanga, cheesecake pig.
Speaking of Scaramanga, he has rejected his...
Yeah, I noticed. Yeah, I figured that was going to happen.
He rejected...
That's not his real name. We don't know who he is. He's some sort of guy. Maybe he's could be some commercial New York artist for all we know. And he's trying to hide out. He doesn't want to know. He doesn't want to give his address out.
He rejected his Masters of Fine. He says, no, printing and sending a document, that's unnecessary. It's like giving a medal to a cheetah for running fast.
Kind of an interesting analogy.
Yes, and he agree that he says, for this rumor that I hate the show, let's squash that nonsense right here. Nothing could be further from the truth. I'm guessing this is just one of your running gags. Still, I admit I got a little spun up last year by the feral trolls on NAS. Despite the vermin infestation, I found some decent folk there and even made a few friends. If my ire came through, blame it on a rough patch. He did some issues, personal issues. I've been a fan of yours since the early aughts when I was studying technology in college. Adam, I'll be honest, back then, all I knew about you was that you were an emaciated, possibly gay former MTV VJ with immaculate hair.
Awesome. He nailed it.
He nailed it. Yeah, I missed the memo on your genius. My bad, no hard feelings. I've never had hard feelings. It's John who has the problem. I got no problem.
I'm a coot.
You're a coot. Exactly. It's the coot that has the problem. Cooties. Yeah, coot problems. Thank you very much to Data for the artwork for episode 1729. We titled that Algo Chasers, and I see that we have some more fine algo that has come in. Another fun job to choose from that. It's tough. It's very, very tough. So there is plenty of time to get your anybody can participate, and they're not just used for album art for the show. We use other pieces for newsletters, for bat signals, and of course Dreb Scott does a great job putting together our chapters in the Modern Podcast app, which will rotate on your dashboard when using it in the car. Now to the treasure part. We thank everybody who sends us $50 or above. We mention who, the amount, where you're from, complete transparency, unlike any other model within any broadcast organization. And we have special titles which are they're very Hollywood, so they are official. We feel it's only appropriate that if you are a producer, you are able to get a credit, an official credit. An associate executive producer, $200 or more, and will read your note. An executive producer, $300 or more, and will read your note. And all of these can be used anywhere credits are recognized, which includes imdb.com. Now we start with a rather long note, but we don't have that many, so I'll read through it. Julian Swan in Westmoreland, Tennessee. In right away, the first time in weeks, maybe months, we've had an Insta-night.
Yep.
How long has it been since we've had an Insta-night?
We haven't had one since last year.
Okay. $1,000, he says, it's been a while, old friends. I've been a listener ever since episode 605 back in 2014. I've been to many different meetups, mostly in the Atlanta area. Then we got saved and moved to Nashville, Tennessee for a church that stayed open during the fake virus. Oh, it's one of the few. That's great. I'm so glad to hear of your salvation, Adam. Welcome to the army of the Son of God. We need all the good men we can get in this fight. That's right, the spiritual war. You guys were fundamental in my awakening. I wouldn't be where I am today without you. Your ability to extract narratives from their pigeonhole position in the mainstream media and draw them out to a greater sphere of understanding, dissecting them from multiple different angles. This process armed me with a rational and logical mind I used to obliterate cultural narratives everywhere I heard them. This did not do much for my popularity. No, it usually doesn't. But at least it made people think. Today, my wife and I teach equity jurisprudence. Help how to with actually we have incredible. We have seen. Believe. We also teach a class trusts and how to assets without with the state. Our website is standingontherock.com. Standingontherock.com. It's still under construction, but there's a good introductory video there about what we do. Thank you guys so much. I could seriously not have done it without you both. There were a good 7 or 8 years there that I did not miss a minute of a single episode. I did get mad at John one time for shutting down a conversation about terrain theory, and I admit I was mean to Adam on No Agenda Social about it. I repent of my sins. I bless you both in the name of Jesus. Please knight me Sir Swan of the Equitable Remedies. I love you guys. I credit you both as my original mentor. It makes his face to shine upon you both. Godspeed from Julian Swan. And we shall be knighting him later. Thank you very much, Julie.
What's he talking about this terrain thing?
I'm sure it's something you went, that's bullcrap, back in the NAS days. Don't fret over it.
I fret over everything.
Yeah. That's what coots do.
Sir PDR is tist. PDR tist in Leeuwarden. Leeuwarden, Netherlands, 350-58. Good morning, gents. First of all, I would like to wish you both a very happy and prosperous New Year with the 10th anniversary, or 10th birthday of our beautiful daughter Lily Louise coming up next Saturday. I just time to send some of my pre-Trump crypto gains to my friends at the other end.
Nice.
Please put her on the birthday list, and can we get her some goat karma as well, please? Thanks. Thank you for keeping us sane in these crazy times, guys. Keep up the good work. Love and light. It's Sir PDR. Okay, let me try it.
Okay.
Bauke Overbosch.
Not that bad. Bauke Overbosch.
Bauke Overbosch.
You've got karma.
Then we have Zachary McClellan from Frankenmuth, Michigan, and it says Adam has. I'm going to presume. No, I know that this is the NoAgendaFudge.com people. NoAgendaFudge.com. It is a better idea to send the note to notes@noagendashow.com or .net.
Well, no, this is not right. What you're saying, what you're saying is correct, but the reason it says Adam has those, because this is the check that Tina sent in the mail that you picked up personally, and I figured if there was a note, you'd have it, and I put that in there.
Oh, okay. But still, they should send the note, because I don't have the note. This was 2 weeks ago.
Did he say anything? Did he say hello?
Well, there was a nice note, and it was a great note, but I don't have the note, and I don't have the fudge anymore either. The fudge is gone.
You ate the fudge?
Ate all the fudge. We ate the first fudge. We ate within an hour of it coming in. Tina and I together. This is a block of fudge. This is
it's a big block of fudge.
They sent us
he packed a lot of fudge for you.
He's a fudge packer, and it was just amazing. And then that was the caramel sea salt. This is Tina's favorite. Then we took a second one to our New Year's. This is how long ago? To our New Year's Eve gathering at some friend's house. I don't remember which one we took there, and everybody ate that fudge. And then we gave the turtle fudge to Pastor Jimmy and Annette. They hated us for it. Like, you guys, what did you do to us? And then we had the last one we ate ourselves. It's amazing. NoAgendaFudge.com. 333.
The note's lost to history.
Yeah, but it was a beautiful note, and
that's nice.
That's nice. And thank you very much. NoAgendaFudge.com. I told you we went to our New Year's Eve dinner, and a person there went, it's Frankenmuth fudge. I can't believe it.
Yeah, we had the same experience. Jessie, JC's wife, Jessie Christensen, she was raised in Michigan, and everybody in Michigan knows about these guys.
Yep.
Aaron Dardarian's next on the list. He's in Trabuco Canyon, California. He came in with $333, and he has a very good note. It's kind of the best note that we have on the show so far, and he says, thank you.
Sir Aaron Dardarian, and we thank you indeed. Lindsay Frick is in Aurora, Illinois. Switcheroo! Okay. This $333 donation credit is for my dad, Larry, for his birthday. Okay, so I'm going to put Larry in there. Larry. I presume his name is Larry Frick. We don't... Oh, Copilot just said something. Uh-oh. So I just changed the cell on my Excel sheet. Up pops a dialogue. Copilot. New. Copilot included in your Microsoft 365 plan. Microsoft 365 is now enhanced with Copilot, our powerful AI companion that makes completing tasks a breeze.
Oh, Clippy!
Your subscription unlocks AI credits to experience Copilot across 365 apps and beyond. Well, get started. No, Copilot just popped up. What's it going to do for me? Is it going to change it? Autosave is turned off. I only work with files that have autosave turned on. Turn it on to continue. All right.
Does it say that?
Yes. And then it...
Oh, please.
Now it pops a box to the
So it's
top.
going to lecture you about autosave and all the rest of it. So that's the convenience of this. It's going to tell you, yeah, you're not doing it right.
So check it out. So I click turn on autosave. It then goes to the top left of the Excel app. And it says, how do I turn on autosave? It has a little box there. Before autosave can save your file, you need to fix the following. The file was created in unsupported file format. Please select File, Save As to update the file format.
Oh, please.
And then this file needs to be saved to the cloud first. And so I hit the autosave button.
What?
Yeah. It won't even do it unless I just save it to the cloud. Screw you, Pilot, Copilot. Horrible. How about that?
And why?
Why? Because they need to...
Because they want this data in their cloud, so they can steal the data.
Yes, there you go. Anyway, this donation credit is for my dad Larry's birthday on January 17th. Please de-douche it.
You've been de-douched.
And wish Larry Jr. a very happy birthday as an executive producer. A family that no agendas together stays together.
Okay, we go on to Ty Glander in Kirkland, Washington.
Home of Costco.
315.85. Not a switcheroo. Sir Libre's birthday was Saturday. Is another birthday.
Yep.
He hosts the Podcasting 2.0 Value for Value Lightning Thrasher Show. SirLibre.com Lightning-Thrasher or /Lightning-Thrashes. Thrashes, yes. Do you know this podcast?
Yeah, I do. It's heavy metal value for value music. I sure do. Sir Libre is a big contributor to the Value for Value Podcasting 2.0 community. He's a very important guy. And now that I know he lives in the home of Costco, we went to Costco, Tina and I, on Tuesday.
Yeah.
We walked out of there like we could not believe what we had spent on really not a lot of stuff. The prices...
You always spend $150 to $200. $200 used to be my average.
Twice that.
$400?
Yes.
On what?
A chicken.
A chicken? A chicken is $5.
No, chicken is $6 a pound for chicken breasts.
Oh, Oh, you bought the chicken. Oh, $6 a pound. You must have spent a fortune on chicken.
Well, we bought some other stuff.
100 pounds of chicken.
But you know, the one thing they still have is the $1.50 hot dog and a drink, which people revolted over them trying to raise the price on that.
Yeah.
Well, it's a scam.
Why?
Well, I am a longtime consumer of the Costco $1.50 hot dog and drink. So, first off, the bun is only 60% the size of the dog. It sticks out on both sides. It's a puny bun. They skimp on the bun. Second, the drink container is smaller than it used to be. I don't know sizes, but it's smaller. Third, you can only now get Pepsi products. There's no root beer, there's no Dr. Pepper. It's only Pepsi or Diet Pepsi or water.
Well, that's just your place, because none of that's going on here.
Third,
the buns are the same as they always have been. The container size is the same. There's some scam going on your local store.
Third, the onion grinder has been removed.
Yes, that has happened everywhere.
I like the onion grinder.
I like the onion grinder too.
Third, they no longer put it in a heat-sealing bag. It's just a brown paper bag. So if you don't eat it there, it's going to be cold by the time you get in the car. This is no good. I'm very upset with Costco.
Well, the big upset should be with the chicken, with the all pre-cooked chicken, which they've taken out of the container, which gave me my tip of the day, which you could tell it was really the right chicken or not.
I thought they put it back.
No, as far as I can tell, at least locally here, it just goes into some crummy bag, some sort of a bag that accumulates the juice. So if the bag happens to have a little tear in it or something, it gets all over the car. It's a nightmare.
All right, thank you very much, Tiger.
I do it. Well, I should have. I'll have a bonus tip of the day about Costco.
Michael Romano, Petaluma, California. Hey, Petaluma. We know Petaluma, home of broken networks. First associate executive producer, 237. ITM, gents, this is dedicated to my son, Dario Lu Romano, to celebrate his first birthday and start him out right on his path to knighthood. Please put him on the birthday list, as well as we will be celebrating on the 17th, as he's our little bringer of goodness. Oh, good. He's on the list. Thank you, Michael.
And there we go to, look who it is. It's Eli the Coffee Guy in Bensonville, Illinois, $201.16. And he says, I watched Biden's farewell speech.
Yeah.
Say what you want about the man, but I'll miss him. His vacuous platitudes, mumbling nonsense, and gaffes. Although it wasn't Eisenhower's plowshare speech. By the way, I think Biden was trying to pull an Eisenhower.
Oh, yeah, with the tech industrial complex, which, funny enough, spells tick. Like, okay, yeah, that's good. All right, Biden.
Biden warned the people about the oligarchy. Yes. Which nobody knows what that even means. The tech industrial complex and AI. History doesn't, I didn't get any clips from this thing.
I think I actually did. I get a Biden clip? I think I might.
Yeah, if you do, I want to hear it.
Yes, I do.
History doesn't repeat itself, but it does rhyme. Can I get Shingles Don't Sniff Me Biden and Whole Load for all you dog-faced pony soldiers needing good coffee? Visit gigawattcoffeeroasters.com. What a segue. Code ITM for your 20% off your first order. No joke. Stay caffeinated, Eli the Coffee Guy.
I'm gonna give you the whole load today.
That's disgusting. You want to hear a speech? I got a speech.
Yeah, play it.
It was a message of both hope and warning.
Hope and warning.
In his final days in the White House, President Biden wished the incoming Trump administration success, but said American democracy was under threat.
Today, an oligarchy is taking shape in America of extreme wealth, power, and influence that literally threatens our entire democracy.
It's always been in America, you fuckwit.
Biden could be referring to Donald Trump himself.
The fuck is a Rockefeller and a Rothschild?
Invoking the words of Dwight Eisenhower, who in his own farewell speech in 1961 expressed concerns about the military-industrial complex. Biden took aim at big tech.
I'm equally concerned about the potential rise of a tech-industrial complex that could pose real dangers
for our country as well. Americans are being buried under an avalanche of misinformation and disinformation, enabling the abuse of power. The free press
clearly aimed at the free press.
I like doing these clips during the donation segment because all those douchebags who skip over it, they miss all the best stuff. It's like our little secret, don't tell them, please, don't, if you're listening now, don't tell anybody. You say, yeah, I heard that. And they're like, well, you heard that on No Agenda? Yeah, I heard it. You didn't hear? What's wrong with you? Your ears clogged or something? You listened to the right show? What's wrong with you? Linda Lupakin, Lakewood, Colorado, $200.
Here we go.
Let me get ready for it. I'll make sure I do this right. It's time for me to do a perfect read. And she says, jobs karma. Go to imagemakersinc.com. Why? Because you'll get a resume that gets results. That's Imagemakers Inc. with a K for all your executive resume and job search needs, and work with Linda Lou, Duchess of Jobs and writer of resumes.
Jobs, 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 and jobs. Let's go. Jobs.
Nailed it.
Last on the list, or close to the last, is Giselle Woods. Gisella Woods. Watts.
There you go.
Wodzisc. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Seems like a Polish name, but I should be able to pronounce it. North of Royalton, Ohio, $200. My name is Gisella. It's Italian. Woods is Polish. I was right. I submitted a $200 donation today for my smoking hot husband Tom for his birthday this Friday, January 17th. He's on the list. Tom introduced me to the show a year or two ago. I was reluctant at first, but gave it another shot and have been a loyal listener ever since. We both need a de-douching.
You've been de-douched.
Keep up the great work, and we love the show for more years.
There you go. And that completes our list of executive and associate executive producers, interspersed with some clips other people will not hear. Welcome to the exclusive donation club, everybody. It's good to have you here. We'll be thanking people $50 and above, and of course, we always love our sustaining donors. You can go to noagendadonations.com, enter any amount, any frequency. It could be small, just keep it going, keep it coming. Set it and forget it, noagendadonations.com. Thank you again to our executive and associate executive producers for 1730.
Our formula is this. We go out, we hit people in the mouth.
Don't sniff me, Joe Biden. Nice. Okay, it's starting. We heard the Surgeon General come out and say, drinking gives you cancer. Which, of course, has been known for many years. I think it already is on many labels already. May cause cancer, may cause birth defects. I mean, it's not like an unknown
damn Aerodyne.
thing. But then the Surgeon General came out, it was a whole flurry. We were
one
like,
day.
Maybe
one
there's some
fucking day.
report that's going to drop. Maybe something bad is going to happen. I will note that although not in the United States, the Daily Mail reports another mystery cancer explosion. Unexpected surge.
It's a mystery.
Death rates double, making it UK's fastest rising cancer killer, and it's liver cancer. Interestingly enough, here in the United States, we are clearly, and this goes back to a very old no agenda theory, clearly want to kill people by making them drink more.
Joining us now is professor at Northwestern University Medical School and WGN Morning News medical contributor, Dr. Lauren Stryker. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello. With alcohol and the Surgeon General, what is the latest?
It's a big topic of discussion because, of course, the Surgeon General wants there to be a warning on every bottle of alcohol. Not just a warning, but like a neon sign that says, do not drink this.
Now, we know from the cigarette warnings in Europe, when you have big signs that say, this is going to kill you, what happens, John?
Sales go up.
look at this controversy, there's really a lot of different aspects because there's the medical, and then there's the political, and then there's the financial, and then there's the cultural. So let's stick to the medical for a second, okay? It is not a controversy. We've known this for a long time that alcohol is associated with 7 different kinds of cancers, maybe more. Breast cancer, 1 out of 6 women that had breast cancer, it can be attributed to alcohol. A lot of other, of course, medical conditions that go along with alcohol. Not a controversy. 50% of people, there was a study that was done, have no clue. They do not know. They are not aware that drinking alcohol can cause cancer, which is what this is all about. So the controversy is how much. You know, is it okay to have a little alcohol? No alcohol? Medical experts are all over the map on that because there's so many other circumstances that are going to impact on how much alcohol is going to harm someone, other risk factors for cancer, etc. But that doesn't really matter. What really matters is the idea that there is an association. But then we get into the bigger picture. Okay, first of all, is it going to make a difference? You know, how many people read those teeny little labels? Is that going to change their activity? Is that going to change their decision-making process?
No, we need the big labels. Big labels.
Big label. In fact, dude, they're not going to read the little. They don't even read the label on the bottle itself. I mean, it's like you. Hey, so what was that wine you had? Oh, I had a great wine the other day at dinner. What was it? What was it? What was it called?
It was red.
It was a red wine. I don't know what it was called. Nobody even looks at the label, let alone the little label.
So, of course, we are suggesting that possibly, some of these COVID vaccines might possibly have been responsible. The timing seems to correlate, with correlation is not causation. But over in the UK, something interesting is happening. Dozens of British women